What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another Thursday, a salty Thursday. Hope you guys got your favorite drink in hand because it's about to get salty. You got to kind of wash that down. We got some great topics, a great crew as usual, and a returning guest. So without further ado, let's get to our guest intro. Hyena Den, love you here for the tech talk. We got some tech talk going on. So how's it going, my dude?
I'm doing really awesome. I just got off of playing Skyrim for the 10th time. I was enjoying that playthrough. It's always awesome to be on the Saltiest Gaming podcast to talk about all of this wonderful gaming news. Let's get into it.
So you said you might get a Switch. Do you think you'll pick Skyrim up on the Switch, and then after that, pick it up on your refrigerator and then the toaster? Or?
Absolutely. I'm going to get it on everything.
Yeah. Man, they just love selling that Skyrim. They're going to keep selling it until like 2050. You know what I'm saying? Skyrim
Yep.
remastered for the 80th time because people keep buying it, you know?
I don't know, man. It's crazy. People keep buying that game. I don't understand.
Skyrim's good, but it's not that good, right? I mean,
it's good. I don't know
It's
about
just
80
good
hours,
because
dude.
they need to come out with another one.
It's good.
You know,
I don't know about a decade good, but it's good.
You know what? I said if they remaster Oblivion, I'm buying that day one. I don't even fucking care. I'm buying it again.
I did love Oblivion. Love me some Oblivion.
hey, Oblivion was cool, man. I look forward to that. I mean, and he's
Personally, Oblivion can go into the bushes. Morrowind is still the best one. Just saying.
Oh, here we go.
Morrowind was legit. I ain't gonna argue against that.
Skyrim is so good, it makes me want to buy any game with rim in it. Basketball rim, cock rim, anything. Let's go.
Cock rim.
I mean, if it'll make you buy every type of rim, then you might as well.
Dude, Morrowind was so legit. Like, you could literally turn your guy into a god that couldn't be killed. My guy, I just walking around, I would kill bosses because I made a fucking mage's robe that had, like, so much return damage dealt to me. It was like I walked into a place and I heard a lightning strike, like, and he's like, oh, and he falls down. It's like I walked into this place and he cast a spell at me and killed himself. That game was so amazing.
Yeah, man, I'm telling you. Let's get to our panel members. We got Noof. What's going on, man?
Boom, boom, beep, 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 kaboom. I didn't want to swear too much because it might take this channel down before we get going.
Beep, 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 beep.
Good, people. That's right. Connect the dots. We ready to roll, people. Noof Nukem's in the house. We got a good show ready for you tonight. Lots of great topics and an awesome panel. So you know what it's going to be like.
Hey, I'm seeing some people talking about lag and stream buffering. Hopefully that gets taken care of. Not sure what's going on. I'll try to adjust that, and then we'll get this going. Next up, we have Nintendo Direct. You hit that special 1,000 mark, man. Congratulations, my dude.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you very much. And yeah, it was a crazy experience. This whole weekend was a crazy experience, not just for me, but for like another buddy of mine. It was just like a weird thing that happened, but it was awesome. But yeah, 1,000 subs, and I appreciate everybody who's came by the channel and everybody in this community and the Nintendo community and all that stuff. And let's make it 2,000 ASAP.
That's right. And then we got Titan Drago. What's going on, man?
Hey, what's up, everyone? This is Titan Drago, and don't forget, I'm here to bring the common back to sense because common sense is history. So we've got another week of gaming in the books, and here on TSGP, where you will find no shortage of trash talking, early L giving mugs around here. So if you're new, welcome. Let's get to it.
Yeah, that's awesome. We're going to try to get some debates in here. Who knows what it's going to be about, but we'll see who wins this week. Last week, the win went to Bloody Knuckles. Congratulations. Speaking of Bloody Knuckles, what's going on, man?
Muted.
Nah, I'm here. Oh man, it's going good. I'm having a great week. I'm having a wonderful week. I'm just ready to get into these topics.
Yo, hey, sorry about the buffer, dude. You put that in Nintendo Switch mode, 144p, and you'll be good to go. All right? We'll try to fix it, man. I'm looking on my end. I'm seeing green all the way. YouTube's telling me green. The stream's fine. I don't know what I could do on my end to fix it. Maybe
YouTube just hates the TGSP. That's really what
I know,
it is.
man. They're
TGSP,
hating,
really
dude.
is,
You remember when they cut the stream off last week? I mean, come on, dude.
It was, yeah.
So anyway,
Sabotage.
let me know if it gets better throughout the day. But let's start off with the first topic, and we have some good ones. I don't know which one I want to start off with, but I think we're going to start off with VR on the Xbox. There's been some rumors behind the scenes that secretly VR is going to be implemented on the Xbox family of systems. I just been hearing this. There's nothing, solid. You can't really find the sources on it, but trust me, I've been hearing some things, and I just wanted to get the panel's take on it, if this is a thing that should be supported on the Xbox, because I've seen some haters out there that have kind of been using it against the Xbox, saying, they promised VR, then they kind of changed their mind, and now they're not supporting it. What do you guys think, man? VR on the next gen Xbox, do you think that's something that Microsoft should do? I'm kind of against it still. I don't think VR is where it should be for consoles, but let's get your guys' take. Whoever wants to start off, just start it off, my dudes.
My thing is value, okay? I'm going to say it here and again and in the future, value. Now, do you guys think those PlayStation VR supporters out there, do you think you've gotten enough value out of the games that are currently offered? Yes. I've heard of a couple good ones.
Carnival Simulator, Hot Dog Eater Simulator.
Good ones. So, Noof, you have the PSVR. I've watched one of your streams on it. So do you think you've gotten the value out of that money you've invested in it?
Yes, I totally do, because I love the technology, and while I still believe, yes, it has a ways to go, I think, for the price, the biggest thing that's been holding back PSVR or VR probably at the entry level cost has been a bit high. Whether that's going out and buying yourself a high-end PC to play Oculus or Vive or whatever, or even jumping in on the PlayStation. For the last couple of years, when VR first came out, the PlayStation 4 was about, an easy $400, and you were looking at the entry level package was $300 or $400, if not more, for the VR. So you're looking short of $1,000 to kind of get in on the entry level floor. So I think the price has been a big sticking point. We saw how VR really took off this year for the PlayStation when they dropped the prices back at Black Friday and stuff. They had great bundles, and people were snapping them up. The technology is still a bit limited, especially for the PlayStation side. It has, issues. First of all, the fact that it's still using the colored dildo sticks after all these years. There are better ways to interact with the games than those sort of piss poor move controllers from ages ago. But hey, it is what they did. They cleared. That's by keeping those going. But I've got lots of value out of Mind Titan, to be honest with you, because the thing is, it offers an experience unlike anything else that you're going to play. For example, I was just recently playing Moss, and I'm telling you, when you play like some of these 3D platformers in VR, nothing else even comes close. Honestly, if you could play Mario Odyssey in the same way that I played, say, Astrobot or Moss or some of those games, it would bring Mario to a whole new level. And again, if you haven't tried VR, it's hard to explain why it's so cool. You have to try it. And yes, a few people will try it and go, well, I get motion sickness, I can't handle it. Well, that's fine. I get it. But you know what? Honestly, once you get used to it and you get accustomed to it, most of the games are quite good, quite fine. So I really got
Is that him fading out, or is it me?
No. I think he's botting a little bit, but it's okay. We're good to go. Keep going.
And I'm just going to say, as far as Xbox, I think they're long overdue. I think there's a reason why they didn't jump in with the Xbox One, because first of all, the hardware really wasn't ready for VR, especially the base model. I think the X is more than ready for it, but the problem is the X, it's technically part of the last gen hardware. Do you know what I mean? So it really doesn't make sense to be like sort of a mid-gen or almost the end of a gen and then jump in with new technology, because it's too confusing for people. But if they launched it side by side with new hardware and had a great promotional campaign, plus the new hardware should be more than adept at handling decent quality VR. And a big thing with Phil has already said is about the wires, right? It's accessibility. Nobody wants to have dangles and dongles and 500 wires coming from all over the place. So next thing you'll be hanging from the friggin' chandeliers or the ceiling fan, and you get caught up or whatever. So there's barriers, right? But they will come down. VR will only get better, and the immersion level is off the charts. I'm telling you, play Astrobot, and if you tell me you don't dig it, man, I honestly got to say, I don't know. To me, all I'm thinking of is if Microsoft puts some of their games in that shit, and Nintendo especially, if they ever get on board with VR, they're gonna skyrocket to another whole new level. Trust me.
Maybe that'll be Nintendo's next move.
Well, go ahead.
I was gonna ask real quick, how long can you play before you start feeling a little motion sickness, Snoof?
I play for hours. It's only certain types of games. I remember on the original that disc or whatever that we got with, with the VR Worlds, PlayStation VR Worlds, it came with a bunch of ones like the London Heist stuff. There was one on there where you're on this like a luge sled and you're going down like these friggin' hills and you're turning really fast. That one was really trippy because of the way the screen moves so quick. Mm-hmm. But most of the games, especially like the platformers, they're actually quite good because the games itself don't have a lot of fast-paced movement, so a lot of the movement itself is based on your head and how you turn, so you kind of have full control over how you sort of look around the environments or navigate them. And even in Moss's case, it's even better still because Moss has sort of has static environments that don't really move. It's just your character moves, and you kind of follow them up, down, left, right kind of thing, right? So it's a little easier. But yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, it'd be crazy to see Mario in VR or some shit. I mean, I remember when I was playing Mario 64, and then you saw Mario in that 3D realm. Maybe you take it up to that level. That'd be insane. But when it comes to Microsoft, man, I'm all for it if it's just third party, but I don't want any time and resources spent on first party VR. I just don't want them to go that route. I just got burned way too bad with Kinect, with, the hierarchy and the way that they focused on the peripheral as like the focus of a lot of their devs, and it ate up resources and money and all that other stuff. I just don't want to see that. But if they want to go third party VR like Oculus or some, HTC or something like that, I think it would be beneficial. Hyena, what do you think, man? You a fan of VR on consoles?
Not really. As a whole, I really don't care for VR, like PlayStation, Xbox, and it doesn't matter. If they end up doing VR for Xbox, according to some of these rumors, I genuinely hope it's there to complement the console, not being there in the sense of supplementing the console, because we've seen VR units in the past where they don't have a lot to go with them, and the peripherals end up taking more space than what's warranted. And you look at the Kinect. The Kinect wasn't there as well. The second generation Kinect wasn't there to complement the original Xbox One when it debuted. It was supposed to be, but that's not how it ended up. It made costs skyrocket, and everybody knows what happened in 2013. And I look at the Kinect in the same way as I do VR. If it's not there to complement the piece of technology, then I don't want it. I don't want it to affect any of the first party studios that we have coming down with their games coming down the pipeline. You look at racing games more than anything, I think are perfect for VR, but we've seen racing games where it ends up messing with like the features and everything that they could have put into said game because they ended up focusing on VR. I don't want a situation where Forza Motorsport 8 comes out and VR is a big thing, like they did with the Kinect back on the 360, and features are delayed, or we don't get certain features because that was their primary focus. I don't want VR to be that sort of thing. If it's just a complementary thing to the console, then have at it. But if it's there to supplement anything, I don't want to see it at all.
Yeah, man, I'm totally with you on this. Nick, you got any thoughts on VR? You want to see it on Nintendo, Xbox?
No, and no, and no, and no, and no, and no, and no. I do not want to see VR on an Xbox or Switch just yet. Especially not the Switch. I mean, what's VR gonna look like on the Switch?
Switch.
Well, they'll obviously have to wait till next gen for that, right?
Right, but no, I mean, if VR comes, it comes. I'm not gonna be like, no, don't bring VR. But like, it doesn't interest me. So it's just like, if it comes, the Xbox, cool. I'm glad that y'all get to enjoy your VR, but I still won't be playing VR. I'll be chilling, over here by myself.
Okay, let me ask the panel something here. And this one. Has anybody tried PlayStation VR, for example, and one game in particular, okay? Because this is the one that sold me on it. Battlefront, Star Wars Battlefront VR. You get in the X-Wing fighter. Has anybody tried that?
Nope.
Nope.
Holy hell is all I'm gonna say, man. I'm telling you, you play that shit in VR, I'm telling you, you won't want to go back and play the regular game anymore because it's amazing. The first thing you're gonna notice, you jump in the and you get this for free when you have the copy of Battlefront for PlayStation. So it's only like one level, it takes about 15 minutes. But it just shows you the kind of potential that VR has and how it can change what you call your run-of-the-mill shooter into something completely different. And the first thing you're going to see in the title screen, as soon as you boot it up, there's a giant ATST, the big suckers. What's that one?
The AT-AT.
AT-AT. And this thing actually walks over your head, and you can hear the footprints coming. You hear that big shink, shink, and you look up, and this, okay, on your screen, when you're just looking like somebody sitting on the couch looking next to you, okay, it looks like a regular video game screen. There's an AT-AT going across. When you're in VR, that AT-AT is now about 100 feet high. You look like a little piece of shit that you're going to get stepped on, and you can see this thing walking. And that right there just tells you how scale, how depth, and how immersion works for VR. Just in the title screen. Then you play it. You're in the X-Wing. You can look around your cockpit instead of just, oh, I can see the cockpit and I can look out the window and left, right like you would in a regular game. Now you have full 360 movement. I can swivel my head, look back and see R2 in the back. He's going doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo, right? And I can literally touch the buttons by looking at them and then pressing something. And you touch the buttons in the cockpit. And then when you go out into space and the fucking asteroids fly past your head, they actually look like they're about 100 miles long, and it looks like you're going to smack into them. And then you see a Star Destroyer go over, and you can hear the feedback. It's like, and you see this, and it's like, I'm not just playing the game. I feel like I'm in the fucking game. Like this is the closest a regular ass Joe is ever going to be to being inside of an actual like X-Wing out of the Star Wars franchise. And it played super good. It was awesome. It didn't make me sick at all. It was, all I can say is that one right there above any other game, because I'm a Star Wars fan, that sold me. My buddy came over. He actually tried it, and he went, "Holy crap! I'm actually considering a VR just for that." I mean, I could keep going on all night. There's 100 other great games out there that are amazing. If you guys ever want to talk to someone who really knows VR inside and out, talk to Supersonic Station in the chat. The guy's always streaming VR stuff, and trust me, when you watch VR streams, they don't do any of the games justice. You have to have the headset on. Otherwise, it just looks like a dude swiveling his head back and forth. You don't get that. You don't get the depth. You don't get the immersion. But when you see it for yourself, like people will say, play Resident Evil 7 in VR, and it goes from being like a creepy-ass game to downright terrifying because the dude is up in your face. It's crazy. Jago swears by it too. So,
hey, Noof. Have you played Hot Dog Eater Simulator, though?
Yeah,
that's what that was. I knew something was smacking.
My biggest thing with the VR is the motion sickness, because, you know, before I got on a submarine, I never got motion sickness, but then I got seasickness. I got on a submarine, and it's stuck with me ever since. I've never been able to shake it. And Plop in the chat said, "Sea of Thieves in VR," and oh my God, if you want to like take me back to Sea State 5 and a oh my God, it sounds horrible. Like I would get green and within minutes. So like that's my biggest thing with it. What's your biggest? Why haven't you gotten it, Salty? What's your biggest like? Is it value? Is it value to you, or is it more of a...
Yeah, it's cost to value ratio for me. I just don't think the games are there right now when it comes to when you compare it to regular gaming. For me, like as a gamer, I have a huge selection of games when I play on my Xbox, but when it comes to VR, it's not the case. You know what I'm saying? Like there's a few good games, like there's Astrobot and whatever if you're on PlayStation VR, but you know it's just not there for me value wise. I think it belongs in a zoo. No, it belongs in a mall area. You can put it in a zoo as well. I mean, it is what it is. But I don't know, man. It's just not for me. I think it would be good for some consumers. Options are always good as long as you're not taking up resources. I think it would be a great thing for Xbox. But I think we've talked enough about VR. You know.
Let me just end up by saying I hope my wife never ever gets mad at me while I'm playing VR, because I keep thinking to myself, man, if she ever got fucking psychotic, she could stab me to death while I'm watching this thing.
So let's
can't see or hear shit on the outside. You're into the game and that's it.
It's true, man. You put that on, you're just like, people could be robbing you blind, you know, taking everything, taking shit. That's crazy.
Wake up and everything in your house is gone with the floor.
You just robbed blind. You know that's going to be on a news story one of these days. Person robbed blind while playing VR.
Oh, God,
takes off goggles and cars gone, jewelry,
I can
TV.
definitely see that happening.
Hell yeah. People
So,
are that dirty in this world, man. I don't doubt it.
Let's move on to the next topics. We got some good, juicy Nintendo information, so we're gonna run off these topics.
Run 'em all. I want the juiciest.
Juiciest. We got Mario Kart Tour, which is a mobile game that's gonna be delayed until the summer.
Oh, that's so juicy. You know how juicy that is? That's the kind of juice that you throw with all the other trash that hipsters drink, and you throw it in the bushes.
Okay.
I was gonna say is that's that man juice that you be drinking, huh, Bloody?
Oh.
No. We ain't going there.
So
I don't gotta put that protein in my body, bro.
anyway,
Shit.
we got Dr. Mario coming to mobile because that's gonna make up for this Mario Kart shit.
Yay.
Any interest by anybody in Dr. Mario mobile? Probably not. So we'll move on.
I mean, I'll play it.
Yeah. Super Smash Brothers Ultimate has already sold twice as many units as Smash Wii U. So that's cool, man. Shout out
Killing
to
it.
Smash Brothers is killing it. If you guys haven't picked it up, I highly recommend it. I'm very addicted to it, and I don't even like fighters. I get my ass whooped, but I won the other day, right, Nick? I got to win, man. So
You want Piranha Plant?
Piranha Plant, yeah. Piranha Plant's he's out. He's kind of OP, kind of not. He's a new character for the DLC for Smash Brothers, so check him out as well. I want to talk about the closing of the Wii Shop. I mean, RIP, right? It went from December 10th, 2006 to January 30th, 2019. I'm surprised it lasted this long, to be honest. Like,
Dude, the Wii was
holy
huge.
shit.
Do
You know?
people still actually use the Wii? Was using the Wii? Like older people, man. The Wii is like legendary. I don't understand. It's just crazy.
Yeah, I owned a Wii. The Wii was the last Nintendo system that I owned before the Switch, so that's where I was at with it. But I'm just shocked that this thing lasted as long as it did. And then there's people like holding vigils and shit for the Nintendo shop closing. You know what I'm saying? Like, this shit's wild. Anybody?
Play with the Wii.
Yeah. Did you guys own a Wii back in the day?
Yes.
I did, yeah.
Who the hell didn't own one?
Yeah.
Right.
Good question.
Like everybody had one, dog.
Yeah. Any fond memories? Did you cry when the shop was closing down, or?
No, I didn't cry when the shop was closing down, but you know, fond memories of my Wii was playing Wii bowling, drunk.
Fond memories
basement.
of my Wii.
Yeah,
Wii.
I mean, playing Wii Sports drunk is probably the most fun you could ever have in 2007.
Man, you ain't lying too,
Like-
because it was like anyone could pick it up and fucking wing the thing at the screen.
Here, hold my beer and watch this, or you
Yeah.
can hold my beer and play at the same time. Like you do all that stuff. It was crazy, but yeah, man, playing Wii Sports was
Wii Sports
legendary.
was dope as fuck. Yeah, the
Mhm.
bowling,
Yeah, the bowling game, yeah.
was fucking awesome, dude.
Yeah, it was.
Tennis was cool. I like that, man.
Yep.
What other?
The thing how you knew Nintendo had a success on their hand right off the get-go is when you watched a lot of people that never played a conventional video game in their life were picking this thing up and playing it. My mother, I bought one from my mother. She loved it. She was, she didn't play like go out and play Mario Odyssey, but or not Odyssey, but Mario Galaxy. But you know what I mean? Like she still enjoyed some of the games. I think she had like Carnival games, and she had the Wii Sports, and she had a few of those type of games easy to pick up and play stuff. And you know, and it was good to see. It was actually good to see like a senior citizen getting out, getting active. You know, without breaking their hip. You know, trying to climb the stairs or actually lift the 20-pound bowling ball. You know what I mean? So it was pretty cool, and that's how you knew right off the bat that Nintendo was on something that transcended conventional gaming.
Yeah, man.
Yes.
I remember playing the original Black Ops on the Wii because
I remember
that shit
dude.
was crazy.
I
But
remember at the beginning of the Wii, like you had Madden on the Wii, all
Yeah.
these games on the Wii, and I'm like, how do you play Madden on the Wii? Like, how do you do that? But I don't know, man. It was the Wii was. I personally didn't like the Wii after a while because, like I said, my story was I had the Wii, it didn't do online well, and I went and got an Xbox. That was my story with the Wii. So I kind of dropped the Wii after a year of having it, but I know that it was still like dope for some people, just not for me in that time.
Yeah, I don't know, man. That console held a lot of good memories in playing,
Really
like playing with my family, especially like getting people to play the video games that don't really play them. Like my dad's not really comfortable picking up the sticks and picking up a controller. Like I remember him fumbling around and trying to play in the 64. Like he looked like a newborn baby walking. You know what I'm saying? And he's getting destroyed playing GoldenEye 64. So he's just like, screw this. I'm not playing video games, blah, blah, blah. He had the salt raging. But like with the Wii sticks, man, it's pretty easy to just pick that up and move your arms and roll a bowling ball motion down. You know what I'm saying?
It's just a remote, man. Hey, how do I
more
point and
accessible.
click?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
More accessible.
Yeah.
So, yeah, bringing the family together, bringing some friends together for, like you said, drinking and having fun with the Wii. Man, I'm gonna miss the Wii, man. Hold me. This is how the vigils start, you know, for the Wii Shop.
Oh man.
Oh,
well,
my
you know,
God.
the Wii.
So
well, the Wii
yeah.
Shop, it's done with, man. It's
All right,
over.
R.I.P. man. All right, can we get an R.I.P. in the chat? Pour
F's
one
in the
out
chat.
for F's in the chat. Can we get an R.I.P. for the Wii? If you guys have good memories, if you don't give a shit, type it too. Anyway, anybody else have some thoughts on the Wii? On your Wii? Any Wii? No? Okay.
Any Wii.
All right. So next topic. Tickets are going on sale early February for E3. Man, get ready, get hyped. It's going down. So there's the first 1,000 badges are gonna be sold at $149 US, and everything else after that's gonna be $249. So just want to get that information out to you guys. I don't know how many of you guys are interested in attending E3. I really want to go.
Something you also need to know about these tickets is those tickets right there will not get you into the Xbox and it really ain't gonna get you into the PlayStation one this year, but will not get you into the Xbox whatever what do you call it, the expo or whatever.
It's more FanFest.
Yeah, it's because I bought those last year and we were at Disneyland at the time, and I didn't even go because I found out when we got there that I wasn't even going to get to see the Xbox show. Then they send you the times of when all the shows are and stuff, and it's like the tickets aren't even good for this time. It was really frustrating to me. So don't make that mistake.
Can somebody explain something to me with E3? So the actual, not the conference, but the show floor where everybody's playing games and stuff. I've heard that doesn't cost admission to go to. Is that true or false?
I still
think you need the band, bro. I still think you need the band to get there.
So yeah, because Irrelevant Native got tickets last second from I think someone else, and I think he had his band to get in, but once you get in, you can go to whatever, you know what I'm saying, on the floor. But I think you have to have a band and wait in line to get in. Because like if you would think about it, like if you're in LA and it's just open to anybody, that would be like a clusterfuck, you know what I'm saying? Like,
right, yeah.
So
that makes sense.
Let us know if you guys have been to E3 and what kind of experience you guys had with that. It's something that I want to do personally, but shit always seems to come up. I'm having a baby. The due date's in July. My wife's like, you're not going to E3. What if I have the baby? So I was just like, okay, all right, whatever. So yeah, E3's coming around the pipeline. We had Phil Spencer talking about in an interview with Major Nelson that their E3 this year is going to be the biggest it's ever been. What do you think this quote is all about? Do you think he's blowing smoke up our ass, or if this is really going to be the biggest?
No, I don't think he is. I think that they're gearing up to throw some haymakers.
Okay.
Hell yeah,
they got a big opportunity to throw some haymakers. Them and Nintendo both, because Nintendo said the same thing. Like, yo, we're bringing it too. So, like, Sony's about to get bodied this E3. Sorry. I'm sorry. I know that if you Sony fans are in the chat are like, no, they won't. No. Sorry. You're about to get bodied in the E3. You're not going to E3. Nintendo and Xbox are. They're about to throw haymakers, and they're getting ready for next gen. So, yeah, it's coming.
So you think they're going to come with the games then, real quick?
I think they're gonna come with some announcements, bro. I think they're coming with something, dog. They're gonna come in with a few things, dude. I feel like Yeah, they have to. They have
Look,
to get people
look,
amped.
some of the studios they acquired and announced last year have actually been under the Microsoft wing for some time. They just announced it last year. How long they've been actually working on games is another
Exactly.
question. They're coming with the games. Look, the floor is theirs this year. It is theirs to take. There's really no competition. You know what I mean? Now, like that makes it that much harder for them because all eyes are on Microsoft. There's really nothing to compare it to. But I think they are not bullshitting. They know that they have to hit a home run this time because they are on the verge of new hardware. They have to get the fan base reignited, reevaluated, like re-excited for the products, and they need to have. I mean, Crackdown, all this stuff is just about out the way now, right? All these games that have stagnated and seem to take eternity to come out, they're out the door, just about out the door. They have to hit the home run. They can't dick around. They got to bring the games. I suspect we're going to see at least three new IPs from all these studio acquisitions. I guarantee you, we see something from Ninja Theory to get people rolling.
Oh
no!
I kind of agree with everyone.
He's been abducted. Go ahead, Bloody. Go ahead.
No, like
these things, but maybe gonna hurt Reveal, but it's gonna be big.
Oh. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Oh,
it's gonna be big.
No, like if you read the interview, it makes sense that he was saying that they got to go big this year. They really do need to hit it out of the park because, as everyone pointed out, they have no one to really steal the spotlight. And even last year, Sony's presentation was very lackluster. And this is coming from Sony fans who were there. I watched it. I saw it live. It was much different, much slower pace. And I really do like when Sony does very big presentations. And I was really hoping that they would have more, but they showed off the same things and did it much differently. So now that there's no Sony there, literally Microsoft needs to throw all the money they have at advertising and really just pump everything into this. Make it as big, bombastic, get as many devs as they want. Definitely pull in a lot more of the Japanese devs because they definitely killed it with the Japanese support last year. And they need to keep showing, hey, we are investing in Japanese studios. We now have a company that is doubling down on setting up these deals with these Japanese studios to get these games over, as well as saying, hey, look, they are legitimately liking our hardware. We're helping them out. They want to show off these games on the Xbox platform. Let them show it off. Keep doing that. But definitely right now, don't hold back on what you have in the future. Right now is the time. I understand Phil's philosophy of not wanting to show anything too early. I've stood behind that because it makes sense. You don't want to show anything 3-4 years out. People be waiting and then, say, oh, just cancel it or just put it out. And then, it get lost to time as we've seen with other games. But at the same time, give enough of a taste of what's coming up soon, as well as tease us with what's coming up in the next few years. If not, at least what's going to start the next generation or what to expect. We know that they just doubled up their studios by acquiring 8 studios now, 7, 8, or plenty of enough, and that they need to show off what that investment's going to entail. We already know some of them are working on new IPs as well as doing sequels to the IPs that they've already established and letting them release on Xbox. Let's see what they're going to do next. Give us a taste because we already know they're going to show off Gears. We know we might get a snippet of Halo. We already know that they're going to be showing off I can't even think right now because there's so many things. But we already know what big first party games that they already have. Give more surprises. Give us a lot more, They need to kill it this year. They need to show what their investment is really going to entail for the future. They need to sell people on what's coming now and what's coming later because they've already been rebuilding the trust in the brand. Now show people why this is the brand to go with.
So, sorry to cut you off. So, actually, Ty can go, and then I'll put my piece in here. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, with all the new studios, they're gonna be showing what some of them are working on. This is their opportunity to really take a hold of next gen. This is it. PlayStation messed up. After 2 years of PlayStation showing walking simulators at E3 and showing off whatever random symphony needs attention at that time, Microsoft is going to beat last year's E3, and that's scary. They have more ammunition than ever. They're locked and loaded. Give it to me,
All right, so I just want to touch upon last year's E3 because I thought they hit it out of the park as well until I had some time to think about it. And you probably didn't think I was going to say that, right? But they filled a lot of their conference up with third-party marketing deals, which was nice because if you look at it, the games they were showing on there were surprises, right? Sekiro, we saw that. And that's not a game that's typically shown on the Microsoft stage, so I was blown away by that. But that's a multi-plat, right? And all these things, Kingdom Hearts, Devil May Cry, all these things were surprising. Cyberpunk was awesome, but in the end, those are third-party AAA multi-plats, right? Those fill the majority of the time, and I think that you could get blinded by the excitement levels of new games and seeing new things, but at the end of the day, those aren't exclusives, and that's what was filling the majority of the time. If you look back in retrospect, I think the only games of there are Halo Infinite, which we saw a tech demo, right? It wasn't really established gameplay, and then Gears 5. Those were the standout first-party announcements and showings at E3. But other than that, I think it was pretty slim. So they need to bring it with the first-party offerings, the Microsoft studios that they need to show what they're doing because I don't want to see another conference that's filled with third-party trailers because that's pretty much all it was, right?
Yep.
If you guys look at it,
you know what else Xbox needs is they need guys like Noof and I and like all the jokesters in the gaming community. And you know what? This is the time to take shots at PlayStation. Someone on the Xbox, team needs to get up there and be like, hey, are we missing someone? Is everyone here? No? They need to do some kind of shots at Sony.
I think
why didn't Sony show up at E3 this year? Because they're waiting on Norman Reedus to deliver the package.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Oh my God.
Hey, Hyena, what were you going to say?
Oh, I was gonna say to use Mike Ibarra for that stuff since he seems pretty good at
Mike Ibarra. What do you think we should do? Go ahead, Hyena.
The way that I've pegged E3 for this year is that the only thing that I disagree with Noof on this subject is the amount of new IPs I think they're going to show. I don't think it's going to be anything more than one, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. It depends on what the magnitude of that IP that they're showing to get people hyped. I think personally that there's going to be 2 games here shown from Microsoft in terms of not third party, not second party, first party strictly. There's going to be 2 games shown here. One that's going to be a new IP and one that's going to be a game that people haven't played since the 360. And I think this is going to be more than enough to start off next gen, because next gen by that point is going to be a year and change away, right? And some people have been asking me, well, why are you so sure that these 2 games are going to be teased? Because you hear Phil Spencer on, he doesn't want to tease stuff too far out in the future and so on and so forth. And they like to stay within an 18-month time frame, and after a while, I started thinking about this stuff and I'm like, wait, this is starting to make sense now. Expecting Ninja Theory or whatever to show up at EXO was definitely. Give me 1 second. I'll come back.
All right.
I can hear people knocking.
He's got a call girl coming up to his door. Anyway.
Hey,
what do you? I told you 2 hours from now. Norman Reedus is at the door.
He's got a pack of fetus in a bottle, buddy.
He's gonna tell Hyena what the game's really about, right? I mean, secrets. So anyway, do you guys think what about hardware? I've asked this behind the scenes with some of the other YouTubers in the community, and they said that they're not going to show the hardware. They might show a tease, talk about it, maybe kind of a highlight reel situation. What do you guys think about that?
I don't think they're going to show it. I just know that the reports are I don't think they're going to show hardware yet. I think they're going to wait until either next E3 or have their own conference sometime in 2020 to do it. Mm-hmm. And then that's it. And like I said, I agree. They'll probably mention it, or Phil Spencer will probably tease something, or he'll, do his little slick sayings that he always does about, hey, we got this coming. He'll throw it out there and then that'll be it. But I don't think they're going to show any hardware whatsoever. Yeah. Anything new anyway.
Yeah.
I think they're gonna wait on the Anaconda. I think they're gonna try and keep that as closed doors as possible. I do think they will give some information about the Xbox One X Plus, or whatever the hell you want to call
or
it.
they'll give us the cloud, or he'll announce the cloud. And that's
the
it. Here's
dickless
the cloud.
Xbox, right?
Here's the cloud. Here's the other one, but the Anaconda. I agree with you on that one.
I said in the
really
chat,
don't mind
expect
Anaconda.
permanent price drops, guys. I think that's almost a given. I think we're going to see a permanent price drop on the Xbox One X. Who thinks so?
Yeah,
I can agree with that.
That'd be a good thing.
Possible.
What, like $50 or something?
No, I think it'll go down a permanent 100. For sure.
$100.
They're gonna want a clean house with their current level of consoles before they bring out the next batch.
Hey,
Bold statement. Let's try and remember that, and let's see how it works out for him, Cotton.
DM him if he's wrong. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, it looks. So let's talk about Sony's E3 now. Oh, wait a minute, they're not. Going there. What about? Oh God, I'll probably get fucking comments for that.
Yeah,
one,
you
man.
will, dude. You already know the haters in the chat.
You know
You
it.
can't- No one can
We
take
just lost 5 viewers.
No one can take jokes in this gaming community. You all are so serious out
Hey,
there.
I had to play.
Sony. We ain't talking about Sony won Game of the Year. God of War is the greatest game ever. Hey, get out of here.
I had some trolls in the beginning, dude, so I had to dig them back, man.
Dig them back. Nah, it's
So,
not game.
let's talk about this weirdness when it comes to rumors of. Okay, first of all, Nintendo Switch Online is getting an upgrade / gonna cost more. Probably just not gonna get an upgrade, but cost more because the smaller version of the console is also being planned, which doesn't make any sense to me because it's already it feels small to me. I guess I don't know. I'm like 6'2", so I'm a dude. I'm a man. I'm 40. No, if you guys get that.
I'm a man.
I'm a man.
40.
I'm 40. So anyway, yeah, they're planning some Switch Mini. I don't get this, man.
Sweet Jesus.
I don't think that this is for me at all. Like,
Not for me.
I like the Switch the way it is. You can, you have the Joy-Cons, you can dock it, you can undock it, and it kind of is called a Switch because you could switch it from being portable to docked. I mean, if the rumors are true, it's going to be smaller, more compact, and then apparently the Joy-Cons might be permanently fixed. There might not be a dock. So what do you guys think of this? Do you think this is the right move by Nintendo or what, man?
To quote Saltiest Gaming, not my bag, baby.
That's
not
right.
my bag,
That's
man.
right.
I'll tell you that right now, dude. Like, I don't like this idea of them making a mini Switch that's more cost effective so they can probably sell more. I don't like it. Like you said, the whole point of the Switch was you can remove it from the dock. You can play it with 2 Joy-Cons. You can play it with Joy-Cons set together. You can play with the controller. You can dock it. You can undock it. All of these options are available. What would be the point, when you just have this one small piece of hardware? And I know somebody was like, well, think about what they did with the 3DS and the 2DS. Yada. I don't want to hear none of that. I don't want to hear about that. So, like, no, I don't like the idea. Leave it alone. Upgrade the tablet. That's what I want you want you to do. Upgrade the tablet. You don't have to give us new Joy-Cons, but give us an upgradable tablet with better internal storage, a better display, all that stuff, and I'd be good to go. But this whole mini deal, nah, not for me. And we can go to the NSO later. I don't want to
throw it into the bushes.
Well, how much smaller can they make the damn thing? What are they gonna make the fucking controller smaller? They're already
right. Like Nintendo tripping with this one, dude. They're tripping with this one, bro.
This screams noofism, everyone. Are you ready for this one? The Switch is trying to get into the porno industry, is where I think we're going with this.
Here we go.
I mean, they don't call them Joy-Cons for nothing, right? Am I right? Who's with me?
What are you doing with your Joy-Con, bro?
Oh no!
I mean, the controllers are already small enough that apparently remember that reviewer that actually stuck one up his ass that one time?
My God.
Right?
No,
This shit's gone sideways, bro.
No.
Woo! Okay.
I love
How come every time we talk about Nintendo, it's nothing but dirty jokes and cock jokes and all
They
this
make
stuff?
it
Why
too
can't it be
easy.
normal?
You guys gotta be
too
sweating
easy.
over here, dude. Oh my God. All right.
Rip.
Woo! Okay. Nintendo Mini. Yeah, I don't think it's a good idea, so we'll leave it at that. If you guys think it's a good idea, if you're on board with it, if you have like Trump hands or something like that, and you think it would be good, let us know.
Not my bag,
Not our
baby.
bag. Throw it in the trash can. Did someone say bushes? Oh, Hyena, what's up, man?
So before I had to make an abrupt leave because people were banging on the front door, I wanted to quickly go back to E3 with what I was saying.
Okay.
How Phil Spencer doesn't want games to be shown too early, and they like sticking within an 18-month time frame. And after a while, it started to make sense to me as to like why all of these cards with the studios and his interviews and stuff is all coming together. And the way that I've figured it out is if they're going to launch 2 games, and I do think they're going to launch 2 games specifically next gen, obviously, at like holiday 2020 timeframe, if they tease them now, and obviously now means E3, if they tease them in June, from June of E3 2019 to when those games would have launched in 2020, that is literally an 18-month time frame, and it just makes sense. They can tease their Playground's new game, they can tease Ninja Theory's new game, and he can become contempt, and he'll be happy with knowing that he's not teasing stuff way too early because by the time they launch they'll be ready.
Yeah.
So that's all I wanted to say on that.
I got so many questions to ask for you real quick. Just a couple, really. How heavy is the baby in the bottle? And can it hear you when you talk?
I don't even know.
I was like, where is he going with this shit?
It comes in a 40-ounce bottle, so take your pick.
So, Kingdom Hearts 3 came out. Anybody interested in that or played it? I'm definitely interested, but
Interested, haven't played it yet.
Haven't played it yet. You picked it up, right? Have you played it?
Yeah, man, I picked it up. I've never played one of these fucking games ever. I've just seen them a billion times. It's always talking about these damn things, watched numerous videos on them, watched Supersonic Station play it, and I was like, yeah, it looks kind of cool. Like, to me, it kind of looks like, honestly, it looks like something that Nintendo would have normally come up with, basically.
Yeah.
Or Enix game, and of course it's got Disney people in there, some cast of characters. The story is confusing as fuck. I mean, obviously I haven't played the last ones. All I know is about darkness and hearts and a whole bunch of shit, and the dude's going around with a big ass key and he's whacking everybody with it. But the game is pretty cool, you know what I mean? Hopefully at the end of the game the key is actually for a big pair of ladies' pants. But
it is for Kyrie's pants, bro. Don't you know it's for Kyrie?
Hey, yo, you ain't wrong here, Nick. It's gonna get someone's pants off.
Oh,
but I like the game. I'm having an actual blast. It's a lot of fun to play. The graphics are amazing, which is really weird because I took a capture. The capture of the game says 4K, but on the box it doesn't. It just says Xbox One X enhanced, but it doesn't say 4K. It doesn't say HDR. So it's like, what the fuck is up with that?
That's because the game, the game isn't in 4K on the X. It runs in 1440p. So that makes sense why, like, if it were to say 4K and it doesn't run in 4K, then that would be their fault. And I think they're just covering their tracks.
Right.
All right, got to pay the bills. Yobi, you the man. This guy's an amazing member of the community. He lives in Florida, I believe. He's rocking down in Florida, so he's not freezing his ass off like everybody else, just like myself. Anyway, he says, peace, love, life to the panel, man. Special shout out to the greatest voice alive, Titan Drago. Damn, does that make you? He's probably got a rock hard chub right now from that. Anyway, would love to see him do the Discovery Channel. What company do you feel should exit the video game industry? EA is my choice. Oh man. All right, let's go. Let's dig into it. What company do you want to see take an exit, like GameStop?
You just put it out there, huh?
Yeah, man.
You just put it out there. Yeah, GameStop. Yeah, they can go.
Well, what's a game? What's a game that has failed more than once? Or
well, it's a company, so you gotta say it's like a publisher, right? EA, there's Ubisoft, there's Microsoft, there's PlayStation,
I don't vote as much as I vote Andrew Wilson out. Like that CEO got to go. But I don't know, man. Activision. I'll go with Activision.
Yeah, Activision would be my choice because I don't want to see Call of Duty go away because I actually like that franchise. But other than that, I would love to see Blizzard split off. Blizzard go do its own thing. And then Activision, what do they got left? I mean, they got Candy Crush and Call of Duty. So
Activision
Mine's
killed
gotta be
Tony
EA,
Hawk.
man. EA's gotta be taken
Activision
down.
did kill Tony Hawk, dude.
Activision killed Tony Hawk, dog.
all right.
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
but people give a lot of shit to EA, but Activision is 10 times as worse than them. No one just calls out Activision though. They only
I don't know.
see EA.
Yeah,
I don't know.
They killed
I don't know.
Guitar Hero. They killed Tony Hawk. They're gonna kill Call of Duty here eventually. I'm surprised they haven't done it already. They fucking drove Destiny into the ground and made
Yep.
Bungie want to quit.
Thank
There you go.
Yeah,
I
they
don't
were
know,
they
man.
were popping
All
bottles and
EA's
shit.
bringing you is Madden and FIFA over and over again. Okay, that's all they're
And
doing.
they're
All
throwing
right.
up Star
All right,
Wars.
and then they messed up Star Wars a little bit. Okay, they're about to kill. They killed Mass Effect, so that's one reason why I'm mad at them.
Oh,
But
they killed Dead Space. Shout out to
They killed Dead Space.
Coloque. Yeah.
But Activision, I think, is worse than EA.
No, not my. EA is the emperor, in my opinion. Like
The
the
Emperor.
emperor, and he's got it out. They got it out for Star Wars. Like you guys seen that? We talked about it last week. All the games when they weren't under Star Wars games, when they weren't under EA's umbrella, that stat is ridiculous.
Yep.
Like, how do you even call yourself a company? What are your shareholders thinking when they see that? They have to know this.
Dark side.
Microtransactions
you will get.
You ain't lying.
Exactly. Yeah, man, and people were wondering with games with gold, like why I was so excited for that Star Wars title. It's like, well, there hasn't been any good Star Wars titles out in years, man. I mean, since EA took over, they've got out 2 Battlefront titles, and they've been, subpar at best, man. I'm starving as a Star Wars fan.
For real,
and
man.
then,
My brother Miles in the chat said EA is the Comcast of video games, and he's right.
yeah, spam F in the chat to pay respects for Dead Space. I mean, R.I.P. Right? They've canned a lot of franchises and made a lot of dumb decisions, and we'll talk about some of those other EA poor decisions when it comes to Anthem. Which there's a hashtag I like to use, which is fake outrage, and there's a lot of people just trash or be negative, but let's be honest. I mean, EA was voted the worst company, one of the worst companies, multiple times, and that's like going up against not just gaming industry companies. It's like all companies. They were voted as the worst company. So yeah, I mean, on the ranking list, I think they would be high, but at the same time, they produce a lot of games that I don't want to see go. I mean, where would these developers be at that point if they were just fold? You know what I'm saying? So you got to kind of take that into account, but at the same time, they would find homes. I mean, I want to see competition for Madden. I don't want to see monopoly with the sports titles.
The biggest competition for Madden is. Have you guys seen that? It was an indie game released not too long ago on Xbox Live. Have you guys seen it? It was terrible. It looked like a Nintendo 64 and it like basketball.
I just wanted to say, you guys were talking about Kingdom Hearts, so screw EA and screw Activision because it drives all the games in the ground. But hey, we got Kingdom Hearts and Square Enix, so we might be on like our 10th sequel pretty soon. But you gotta come over and try it, guys.
Hey, speaking of Disney, they'll probably knock at my door and like I said, call. They'll be like,
shit.
"Did you make fun of our character live on the internet?"
Yeah, they'll send Men in Blacks to your door.
That's our character, bitch.
I have a different take on who I'd want to leave the games industry.
Do tell.
EA will always have a special place in hell to me because they destroyed Burnout, and you're never going to see Burnout ever again. But outside of that, I think it's IGN because they do work in the games industry, and I you know what? IGN, Kotaku, Polygon, they can all go.
Whoa.
They can all go. They can all go, and I would not care.
I guess that does make sense because he said, "What company do you feel should exit the video game industry?" So that works. That works. That works, man. Calling your shots, man. You got to be careful with those IGN people. They're kind of sensitive online. So just saying. So yeah, man. There's definitely a lot of companies up there that I feel like people would be voting for. That's an outstanding question. We welcome questions like that. We love thought-provoking questions. It makes this show amazing. Bloody Knuckles, what do you think, man? Are you still awake? I saw you falling asleep in the chat.
I'm going in and out of it, but I'm here.
All right. So what company would you like to see take an exit out of the gaming industry?
Like what company would I like terminated out of the gate?
No, like out of the gaming industry, like take an exit, like EA or.
Oh, what company would I like to take an exit?
Yeah.
This is actually hard because I hate well, there's a few companies I definitely hate. I wouldn't want any of them particularly to exit, but I would kind of agree with Activision only because of the fact that they've been while Blizzard has definitely done a lot of their things. Blizzard is the only like subsidiary of Activision that has any sort of freedom. But we're starting to see where Activision is getting a little bit too heavy-handed with them, as kind of what we saw with Heroes of the Storm, how they're kind of pushing a lot more with Hearthstone and trying to get that trading card game money out of them and stuff like that. I would really want Activision to like just back off and let Blizzy do their thing, because we still see how they continue to support World of Warcraft, almost a decade and a half later, what they're doing with Heroes of the Storm and everything else. But, now they're getting that extra support pullback because of the fact that that's not profitable for Activision. It's sad to see, but they're the worst ones. Ubisoft might have been one of my go-tos years ago, but Ubisoft actually stepped up recently, and I'm happy for Ubisoft because I do like a lot of Ubisoft's franchises. But Activision, I've never been a fan of Activision. Never. They have always been probably one of my most disliked because they've gotten rid of most of the franchises that I care for under them. Yes, we can also say EA, but, EA is a whole nother beast altogether.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not for the fake outrage shit, but I can definitely see where you guys are coming from. It's just some of these games are really good, man. I'm digging Anthem, and I know the problems that we have with EA and how much hate's out there, but man, if you didn't have EA, I don't know if you'd be getting the Anthems of the world or whatever. So you kind of got to be careful with the way you wish there. But speaking of the Anthem, let's talk about the demo / beta / fake outrage / infinite loading screens.
Let's talk about it.
Let's talk about how that went, and then this new chart that they put out, which is getting slammed. EA's taking a beating again on Twitter for this Anthem release date chart. I'm just going to go over it real quick. They have this like graph that says on the vertical column, it says where you can play your standard pre-orders for PC, PS4, Xbox One, and then they have EA Access, Origin Access Basic, Origin Access Premier. This shit is convoluted as fuck. And then they have next to that, demo access on February 1st. Check marks are all there. Early access full game on February 15th. Play first trial 10 hours on February 15th, and then full game on February 22nd. And the company's getting slammed because they're like, why don't you just release the game and let everybody fucking play it at the same time, instead of putting this pie chart out there or some fucking convoluted graph where people got to do math to figure out when they're going to be able to play, because there's some people out there that have EA Access, but they don't have Origin Access Premier. So they got to look at this chart and see where the check marks are to see when they can play. So it's just another thing that it's unnecessary at this point. But regardless of that, let's talk about our experiences on the open.
Can I say something on that?
Go ahead.
If people are getting confused over 4 different things on a chart,
that's funny.
You have a problem.
Tell them.
Right? There's no reason that 4 fucking things should ever confuse you.
I like
if
it.
you don't know the
difference
between an apple, an orange, a banana, and fucking grapes, then you have a problem. All right, it literally has it broken down in the most basic way possible. Either you have the standard version or the Legion of Dawn. You either have their Premier, which is on Origins, which is their subscription model, or you have the basic, because you don't get all the extra goodies. The only thing that's extra in there is EA Access, which is only on Xbox. So if you don't have an Xbox, guess what? You don't have to worry about EA Access.
Exactly.
You only worry about Origins. If you have Origins, then you only worry about the damn version you pre-ordered. If you're using the Premier version, you only look at that. Like, why is it so complicated for people to understand that, yes, there's multiple versions. Many games have multiple versions. Guess what? Only pay attention to the one that matters to you. Like, holy sweet shit, the outrage about this just goes to show how people are so pathetic that they can't take 5 seconds to read. Like, all I know is I have Xbox, I have Legion of Dawn, I have EA Access. So I get to play the game full version for 10 hours, which is the same as every other EA Access game that has been released, because every EA
Tell 'em.
Access member gets to play the full game for 10 hours before it launches, a week early, every fucking time.
Tell 'em.
People are just stupid because they did it with Madden, they've done it with FIFA, they did it with Mass Effect, they've done it with every game before. Why is it
This
suddenly
portion of the
now
Saltiest Gaming podcast has been brought to you by EA Access.
Yeah, seriously.
EA Access? They can jerk me off.
It's been brought to you by stupid people and fake outrage. Let's go.
Exactly. The thing is, again, EA Access only pertains to Xbox players. Origin only pertains to PC players. If you're not a PC or Xbox player, guess what, PlayStation players? You only have to worry about 2 things. If that's an issue for you, then you are stupid.
You know what's funny about that? Your entire rant is very true, and it pertains to what I said for all of the leaked code names and stuff for, Anaconda, Scarlet, and all of the code names, and everybody's worrying about, do you have to get this? Do you have to get that? And it's like, no. You only get what you need, and don't worry about anything else. It's that simple. And then the same thing literally applies to this. You only get what you need or what you want. Everything else can go to the birds.
I mean, people aren't worrying about cell phones. I mean, there's a goddamn cell phone every 6 months, a new model and a new name, but people figure that shit out. I mean, it is what it is. You gotta kind of do your own research as a consumer. That being said, let's talk about our impressions on the open demo. People bitching about the name of it too. Oh my god, it should have been a beta, not a demo. Who gives a shit? I mean, the average person doesn't know the difference, I guess. Anyway, I was sitting at a infinite loading screen for majority of the day because I was trying to do an impressions video. Shameless plug. You can go check that out on my channel. But anyway, I was trying to get that video done, so I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna get here right on time, get into this shit, and get my video and get my impressions out. I'm sitting, trying to get in the game. I'm waiting for like 2 hours go by. Then I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna go get lunch. And then lunch turns into dinner. I come back, I wait another couple hours at a loading screen. Then I finally get in. I experienced a lot of that. And then I didn't experience the rubber banding, which some people had, but there was a lot of issues. That's putting it lightly. Okay. What was your experience with the game? Did you guys experience all this shit as well?
I didn't, because I started my demo late. I didn't get to play, the day one. I didn't get to play the demo till Sunday. So I think all the stuff kind of blew over by the time I experienced it. But I did experience the infinite loading screen, and then come to find out all I had to do was close the game and then come back in, and that would fix it. That was very, very annoying every time, though, for you to do an expedition and then you just have to close the game out, open it back up, and then load into the expedition. But I only had a few issues with the game. The gameplay and everything about that game, the exploration, the missions, the fighting, everything, lit. Game is like, I almost give it a perfect 10 out of 10 for gameplay, 100%. Like, the game is amazing. Looks great, feels great. The flying felt natural. Just everything about the game felt natural. It was like there was hardly a learning curve to go through in order to pick up the game and play it, which is great. My only issues were menus and Fort Tarsus, and that was it. Like, the fact that you had to walk, which, by the way, they already came out and said they fixed it. Where they changed it, where you can sprint now, and that there will be a place for you to hang out with your friends, and they will make things a little more easier to navigate there. So thank you for that one, BioWare. And then the menus to me seemed like it was just a little confusing. Once you figured it out, you kind of got there, but it wasn't user friendly at first, and that was kind of my issue. Like, where I got to go here, got to go there. Whenever I went to the forge to pick your, I keep wanting to say Warframe, but they're not Warframe. It's your Javelin. It was just wonky. You pick a loadout, and then you want to back out and edit that loadout, but you couldn't back out and edit that loadout. It was just a little weird there for the menu. So those are really my two biggest complaints. But it seems like they're hearing community feedback and they're working to fix those things. So I mean, that's good.
So yeah, when I was hearing from all these people on Twitter and just complaining and bitching, and especially from the Destiny fanboys, They're the worst. Shout out to the Iron Lords. Those guys are amazing. But man, I was hearing some things, about Anthem from people that didn't even play it, man. I'm like, dude, you got to give it a chance. It's not a Destiny clone in any way or fashion. And, you know, they're getting slammed on microtransactions when they shouldn't be, because they've been clear and to the point. Multiple people have come out and said the screenshot was just earlier in the development cycle. It's not a reflection on the final cost. Everything can be earned. They've been 100% transparent, okay? I would take a $20 skin, even if it was that price, over a loot box any fucking day of the week. They've been as transparent as they can. They've listened to the community. I was telling everybody, I'm like, look, this is a bad demo. One of the worst I can remember, but you're going to have another chance to try this out next week. So stop it with the fake outrage. Would you rather this shit happen at launch? Because we had plenty of examples of people not being able to get into the actual game. Remember Sea of Thieves? I remember it. I was getting some fucking Blackbeard error or some shit, and I was sitting there and I couldn't get in. So this happens, but people want a perfect release for a demo. This is a demo. Call it a beta or a demo. They're trying to work this shit out.
My only issue though was
they give us, well, I think it was like build 0.0 or something. You know, they mentioned that too as a very early build. I'm not sure what's up with that, but regardless, I mean, just my quick take on it was I enjoyed what I played of it. I mean, as far as the actual demo itself, when it actually ran and I could get into the games, I didn't have much issues. There was a little rubber banding here and there, but the game itself was fine. It looked great. It played a blast with my buddies jumping in. It was just getting in, right? And it was kind of weird. Even have the game pre-ordered at that point, and I still got into the thing, which some of the VIPs are saying, well, what's the whole point here, right? So I just fired it up, got into it. Of course, you had that infinite loading screen crap, and you'd back out, you'd restart the game, and then I'd get in. And that's how I had to do that multiple times to get in with my team. Was a couple of people would have to back out as long as somebody kept the lobby open, I think. Then you basically restart the game, and then it would start up, and away you go. But playing the game itself, like I said, it was fine. It looked cool. I could see where they're going with it. I just hope there's a very good, involving, congruent story, because, you know, that the part that kind of disappointed me is just like you do this little mission and you kind of go back to the base. You do a little mission, you go back to the base. You know what I mean? And that kind of reminded me of Destiny. That was the part that did kind of remind me of Destiny. And Destiny has that sort of broken up storyline where you're constantly in and out of the base all the time. So, but outside of everything else, it was fine. You know, and of course, some really cool weapons. The customization on your freaking javelins is amazing. Looks awesome. The different stylizations between the four types were incredible. Especially you got your buddies and everybody's mixing it up. It's just a smorgasbord. It's just freaking awesome. Like I think they got a hit on their hands. I'm really looking forward to the game. I can't wait to jump in and hopefully to have a lot of those issues remedied by the time the game launches.
Yeah, I had some issues with the loot drops, the going back, and it kind of took away from the experience there, because you, like, when you're getting loot, you get it out of chests and it's not fluid, in my opinion. You got to wait till the end of the mission, and I was getting bounced from the missions, especially from the stronghold. I would get bounced and get no experience and then get no loot. So you get the loot at the end. It's kind of nice in games and looters to see that big old beam in the air, the gold beam or whatever different colors are in the air, and then get that item and have that surprise of what that item is going to be. It kind of fuels that drive to play the game. And waiting to the end is it takes away from that experience. So maybe they could work that out. It's a work in progress, people. I mean, they put in a new social space because people asked for it. You're going to be able to sprint around in Fort Tarsis. They're changing so much about this game. So by the time it launches, it's going to be crazy. But I'm going to tell you one thing that stood out to me was that stronghold fight with that spider that comes out of the roof. That shit was off the hook, man. I mean, that experience, flying around, going vertical, having the different abilities from the javelins, and teaming up and comboing your abilities to take out that spider. It goes up, it goes down, it calls out its minions and shit. That's just a preview of what these guys are going to do when it comes to their end game. I can't imagine what these raids raids are gonna be like. Like it's gonna be crazy, man. You know, it's gonna be
I
nuts,
can't
bro.
wait to get back to raids, bro. I cannot wait to get back to that experience, man. I tell you what.
Yeah, I mean, that's honestly, I don't want to trigger people, but that spider fight was more fun than anything I experienced in Destiny. I mean, don't at me on that, but the boss fights in Destiny just kind of ho hum, you know what I'm saying? And that even extends. The most fun I got out was, you know, Destiny 1 raid bosses were kind of interesting, but man, this fight with the spider was crazy. How it comes down into the battle arena, which they set up, which is huge, you know what I'm saying? This thing is huge, and this comes down, and it's crazy. I loved it, man. Who else needs to put their input in here?
Look, I agree with all the changes that's being made. It's amazing how quickly they're doing it right now. Like they really are showing that they're listening, and that's more than we've gotten from a lot of other devs, and such a clear transparency and in such a short amount of time. And when they messed up, they've admitted that they messed up. They're not being quiet. They're not hiding away. They're not trying to avoid the conversation. They've been like, no, we are aware of this. We understand. We're sorry. This is for y'all. We're listening what y'all want here. This is what we're adding here shortly. They've done more in this time than we've seen with others. Now, I people know how I feel about Destiny, and I don't. And while I give crap to Bungie, some of it is well deserved, some of it is more towards Activision. But it is one of those things that, you know, Bungie, when they messed up, they were quiet for months without admitting to anything before finally coming out and saying that they're working on certain things, but they were avoiding a lot of the issues that were wrong. They weren't making that part of the conversation. But you know,
real quick,
and that's a good thing.
Real quick, I'm just gonna cut you off for a little bit. Yobi Dren with the $4.99. This is awesome announcement. Saltiest Gaming versus Yobi Dren and MK11. Day 1 to celebrate. I will do a giveaway for MK11, 2 copies via the Saltiest Gaming podcast. You heard it for your first, folks. So get ready for that, man. That's what I'm talking about. Amazing. Yeah, and we still got to get Super Smash Brothers, dude. We got to get in a Saltiest Gaming battle arena, and let's fucking do it. You know what I'm saying? So, Bloody, I cut you off, my dude. But what were you saying? Good talk. Good talk, bro. Good talk. So yeah, next up, who else played this demo, man? Anybody that has their thoughts that they want to put their input in there? Anyway, if we don't have any more thoughts on it, we'll move on to the next topic. I think that Anthem's going to be awesome. Let's talk about Metro Exodus and this drama with Steam and PC elite dudes just losing their mind and review bombing shit. I think if you review bomb, you're scum. That's all I got to say.
Absolutely.
So, yeah. If you review bomb people's hard works and you go back and you're that big of a loser, man, you could get thrown in the bushes, dude. That's where you belong.
Actually, I do really want to talk about this whole Metro Exodus thing.
So basically, if you guys don't know what's going on here, Metro Exodus is leaving Steam for Epic Store. So Epic Game Store, they're trying to compete, and they're doing it in a very cutthroat way. They're getting exclusives. They're getting games that you can only download there, and it's a smart business move because if they want to draw some of the consumer bases away from Steam, which has been a monopoly, they have to do some cutthroat things. So, this game's coming out, Metro. A deal was made, and it's going to be only available on the Epic Game Store. This is going to be until 2020. So all these Steam PC elitists got super salty, and they said it was unfair. Blah blah blah. They go over to the ratings. They review bomb the shit. Review bomb old games. I mean, they're so salty. They got to do that shit. It's insane, man. Hyena, what do you think, man?
The first thing that comes to mind is what happened with Ashen and the Windows Store and Play Anywhere. 'Cause the same thing literally happened, right? Ashen was supposed to come out for all of the platforms involved, Steam, Windows Store, so on and so forth. And basically, Epic paid Annapurna Interactive to make their game exclusive to their store. And this was literally weeks before the game actually came out. I do not have a problem with Epic Games announcing, a new game that has never been announced before, and they want it to be exclusive to their platform. That is 100% fine. If you want, more competition for your platform, you got to do what you got to do. I understand that, perfectly. But So when I looked at what happened with Metro, I'm like, oh fuck, it's literally the same thing that happened with Ash, and this is slightly annoying. On that aspect, I'm annoyed about it, but at the same time, any PC player right now that is upset at what Epic Games is doing, and in turn they decide to show their fake outrage towards this game by review bombing their older games. That, first and foremost, I'm playing Last Light right now, and 2033. Those are fucking good games. You going back and review bombing these games is literally the most pathetic thing I've ever seen on the internet. And I've seen some stupid shit on the internet. Like, this is ridiculous. Not only are you think that you're hurting the publisher, when in return you're hurting 4A Games, which they didn't ask for this. They're not the ones that made the choice to make Metro Exodus exclusive to the Epic Store.
Yep.
I find it absolutely fucking ridiculous that you have that much time in your day to go back and start review bombing who the fuck has time for that?
Yeah, they do.
It's crazy and amazing the lengths people go to show how stupid they really are. Like, let's bring the common back to sense, people. Absolutely. Grow up. It's really simple. Just grow up. Like, if you had to tell your parents what you did, and you told them, hey, Dad, I review bombed this game. Like, what kind of special loser are you? Like, if one of my sons told me they did that, like, I'd asked so many questions about their whole life because something's not right in that head.
Yeah. Think about it. That'd be like someone saying, hey, I love Pepsi. And it's like, oh, 7-Eleven stopped selling Pepsi. I fucking hate Pepsi. Pepsi. You buy it at 7-Eleven. I mean, isn't that basically the same fucking thing?
Yeah, it really is. It's
right?
So stupid.
Exactly. That's how fucking stupid it is. When you put it in like a layman's terms like that, you're like, man, these people, what the fuck is wrong with them?
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know, man. These guys have a lot of time on their hands, obviously, and they get triggered. And when they do, they try to wreck good things. And I hate seeing it. It's one of the worst. I don't know. I just can't stand for it, man.
I do too. Like, and going back to the whole Ashen thing, like, people literally review bombed Ashen 2 when they heard what Epic Games did. And I'm like, you guys, I'm upset at what Epic did. But don't go and fucking punish Aurora 44 for this. They didn't ask for this. The same thing with Metro Exodus and 4A Games. It's the publisher and Epic Games' fault here. Don't go publishing or don't go screwing up the developers on this front. Like, they had nothing to do with this.
So Georgie asked in the comments, he said, review bombing aside, how do you feel about exclusivity on PC? I'm all for competitiveness in the market, and I think if the Epic Game Store can make a deal to make exclusivity, I mean, go for it. It's they have to do something. I mean, Steam is this giant entity. They've had a chokehold on the industry when it comes to the PC games marketplace. So there has to be another competitor. I mean, you got to do what you got to do to get your foot in the door.
Yeah, exclusivity is just a tool. It's just a tool all these companies use to bring people to their platform or whatever they're selling. Like, that's all exclusivity is it kind of, to me, it kind of sucks as a gamer because, I'm all like, rainbows and stuff. I want us to all play together, but I understand that's not going to happen all the time. But this is just one of the tools they have until they come out with more tools to bring their people to their platform, then this is what they're going to use. So
here's the deal. If you are really that butthurt, if you really wanted the game that bad, it wouldn't matter where you getting it on your PC. You're still going to play the shit. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I know there's some things that go into that, and Steam. I'm not really familiar with Steam because I'm not a PC dude. I don't know. I think they have something like Gamer Score, maybe. I don't know.
Anyway, they do, yeah. They have
so I could see where you guys could get pissed about that. But at the end of the day, if you really want to play it, there's not a barrier there. I mean, I think it's cheaper on the Epic Game Store. There's some kind of a discount there. I think people are just getting triggered to get triggered because they're used to a certain thing. And things change. I mean, like I said before, competition's good. When you have a monopoly, it's not good. Steam has pretty good sales and prices, but it's the situation like Mooch was talking about. Shout out to him with his analogy. It's like there's some people that say, hey, toilet paper at Walmart, such a good price. Well, it's like, well, there's no competition, so how the fuck do you know it's a good price? You know what I'm saying? They've choked out every other competitor out there, and you have the big market out there with Amazon and other things, but they set the price and then they all follow suit, and they could be making profit at 50%, 100%. You don't know. You just see that price and you say, hey, that looks like a good price. But competition's good. When it doesn't exist, it's not good. So I think the Epic Game Store in the end is going to be a good thing for gamers. It's just they're going to need to make these deals to put their foot and get a strong foundation so they don't, go bankrupt or whatever.
My question is, like, what's so different about the Epic Store than the Steam Store? Like, why can't you just sign up for an Epic Store account? Like, what's the difference?
Well, people have their Steam accounts, and like I said, they have that gamer score, whatever it's called. They have their library through the app, and they're used to running it a certain way. And they have to download the Epic Game Store, and they have to do it a different way.
We're just talking about inconvenience. So an inconvenience is causing you to review bomb.
Yeah, that's fucking stupid.
Like, come on, let's get real, people. Like, gamers, I'm sorry, y'all. We're all gamers here.
Entitled, right?
Gamers are the most angriest entitled people in the entire world. And we need to chill, bro. Real talk, we need to chill. Y'all want to talk about, oh my gosh, gamers aren't taken seriously? Well, this is why, because y'all do stupid stuff like this.
Yep. Amen to that. Well said.
It's true. So, I mean, it is what it is. I could see where people are coming from when they get upset, but if you're gonna review bomb over this, man, I don't get it, man. Let's move on to the next topic. Apparently, there was a black screen of death. Fake outrage was all over the place. I had people calling me up, man. My buddy Firelord was freaking out. He called me, and I was like, I didn't even know he had my number. Some dude calls me. And I'm like, and he leaves a message, and it's like it's an emergency or some shit. I check it. He's like, oh my god, dude, my screen's black. You gotta help me. What's going on? This and that. It's like the red ring of death. I'm like, hold on, dude, let me check. Sure enough, I looked at it. It was an Xbox Live problem. I said, man, just chill out. Probably, within a couple minutes they'll resolve it. Sure enough, they did. Hard reset of shit, and it's good to go. But people were freaking out and fake outrage everywhere. Just articles are popping up, and it's like Xbox Live shits the bed and everything. The sky's falling, and it's just like, holy shit, guys. Did you guys experience this at all? Did you rage? No.
Yes.
No.
Yeah. I my roommate woke me up at like 11 o'clock in the morning and said, "Hey, can I check your Xbox?" So I was still asleep. I was like, yeah, sure. What's up? He's just like, I want to see something. So he turns on my Xbox. It does the starting animation for the X where, you see the Scorpio intro. And then right after that, it's just a black screen. He's like, all right. He's like, it's happening to yours too. He's like, I don't know what's going on. He's like, I just turned on my brand new, X because he just got one. He's like, and I feel like I can't even play it. He's like, he's like, the Xbox Twitter and social media hasn't responded to what's going on. So he comes in the room 30 minutes later. He's like, yeah, so apparently it was a server issue. He's like, but they're working on it right now. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. He was legitimately thinking that it was something bad at first, but when he realized it was happening to me too, he's like, oh, it has to be something that it's happening to everyone. Mm-hmm. And then 30 minutes later, they're like, no, it was a server side issue which was affecting the core services. Mm-hmm. They're like, we're trying to fix it right now. And they literally just said, hey, just restart your console. And that fixed everything. Like, the people who are going to the extremes with this were like next level with like, dude, it's like you've never had something not work for more than 5 minutes. And yeah, it's like come on. There's a joke in the IT crowd. They're like, hey, thank you for calling IT. Have you tried turning it off and on again? No. Is it plugged in? Okay, plug it in. And then that's it. It's just like, come on. It's like you don't know like the basics of checking. It's like, hey, you turn on, something's not working. Double check it.
Oh, shit, it's not even plugged into the wall.
Right, exactly. It's like, do you know how a cord works? You know that little plastic cable thing that has a 3-prong You know, the thing that you're probably sucking on and letting your child play with a fork.
Well,
Yeah, that goes in the wall.
Hey, I worked at Staples one time. An old lady came in, couldn't figure out why she couldn't get her printer to work. She was trying to put the plug into a screw hole. So there you go.
Oh my god.
There you go.
Hey, shout out to all the old people out there, because when I worked tech support for Verizon, I would be on calls with these people literally for the most simple things for hours, bro. So shout out to all the old people out there.
Yeah.
Much love, man.
Can you hit the on button?
Yeah.
Where is that? It's a button to the far left of the keyboard. The keyboard?
Keyboard, what's that?
Yeah, exactly. You got to go like through the whole 101, like right from the beginning. It's like, holy fuck.
Yeah. Anyways, it is what it is, man. Can you imagine some of these people that can't adjust over a black screen for a couple minutes being in a zombie apocalypse? My God.
Oh man.
Dude. Those are the people that you steal shit from, and you know what I'm saying? Strongest survive, man. Those will be the first to go. I mean, shit happens, right? So let's talk about some other things that are coming up in the news here. Quantic Dream is going multi-platform. They're teaming up with a Chinese company, getting that money. If you guys don't know who Quantic Dream is, they were responsible for the hit game or not hit game, depending on who you talk to. Detroit Become Human. I know a lot of people that really enjoyed that game. I don't have a PlayStation because I'm a plebeian, according to some people in the comment section. So yeah, I haven't experienced it. But Quantic Dream going multi-plat. What do you guys think?
It's the best thing. It's literally the best thing for them to do. Here's the thing. I like Quantic Dream. I've completely stood by Quantic Dream. And for people who don't know, Quantic Dream originally made multi-plat games. If anyone had an original Xbox, they put out Indigo Prophecy way back in the day on Xbox before it went to PC and everywhere else. Mm-hmm. It wasn't until the 360 and PS3 era that they were a second-party studio that did Heavy Rain for PlayStation 3, and then later did Beyond Two Souls before doing their work on Detroit Become Human. Now, the fact that they are breaking away and that, one, they were a very big second-party studio to PlayStation shows that they don't know how to keep their studios. Their studios always seem to kind of get left aside. With as many studios as Sony has, not many of them are doing projects. And the ones that are around aren't, getting a lot of projects to do or not getting a lot of attention or stick around long enough. This kind of shows that they broke away to do their own thing. And as soon as they said, hey, we're partnering with them to have funding and go multi-plat and be able to put the genre that they helped kind of push forward. They did really start that whole interactive storytelling aspect. Your choices affect the story your way. They really did kind of pioneer that genre. And now as soon as they made that announcement, literally everyone's just like, oh, well, Quantic Dreams go multi-plat. Not like they were important anyway. Not like their games were that good. It's like y'all hyped up Detroit to no end. A week after the game comes out, there's no more talks about that game being this great masterpiece that everyone was saying it was going to be. Yep. And now y'all are saying that they're sellouts, that they're not talented or anything. That it's a bunch of bullshit. It's literally fake outrage from people who are just wanting to make a statement because they want to go with what's the popular narrative. And it's completely ridiculous.
The same shit happened with Hellblade, man. Hellblade was the best thing since sliced bread, and as soon as it goes to fucking Xbox, Ninja Theory's has-beens.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Ninja Theory's sellout.
And now when they signed to be a Microsoft studio, they're like, oh, they weren't that talented anyway. Look at them running through that Microsoft money. And it's like, dude, y'all literally hyped that game for a year because y'all like, oh, this is the best thing. Y'all have it over there. And then as soon as Xbox gets it, it's literally like, oh, y'all are just getting our used hand-me-downs anyway. Good. Have fun playing a year-old game that's not that good anyways. And it's just like, really?
It's not multiplayer. What does it matter if it's a year old or not? You're getting the same experience.
Exactly. That's why I don't understand. Like, Quantic Dream going multi-plat is great because here's the thing. I really loved Heavy Rain. I had that on my PS3. I played Beyond Two Souls, but I didn't own it. I really want to buy it. Detroit is still a game I really want to play, and so does my roommate. I have a PS4 now. I want to get it to support them. I've always stood by that Sony studios are talented, but I don't support Sony as a business. What they do business-wise is not good. What their studios do is always well-deserved, and I'm glad that they're making a choice for them to be able to do what they want to do. But now we're seeing how quick these respects and narratives change on the support for these studios when they do something like that. Multiplat is literally getting destroyed because they want to do multiplat, because they want to keep pushing this on everything like that. You know, I don't understand why that is. When a company decides to expand their market and reach out to other audiences, especially when they're small and independent, like Ninja Theory was, like Quantic Dream is definitely a mid-sized studio. They have quite a bit, but they're not massive like we've seen with a lot of other companies or other studios. They still need a lot of money to support the projects that they're doing, especially with what Quantic Dreams was doing with the engine that they were trying to build to do these things. If you've seen how their games are back on the PS3, what they did with Heavy Rain was really great animation for the time. And what we saw with Detroit, really great animation and really well done for the time. It still looks beautiful. It is a beautiful game. But looking at what the numbers that it did, that's not the kind of money or numbers that Sony wants. And unfortunately, they don't get that contract renewal. So what do? Go to someone else who's going to support them and give them money to help fund their projects. As soon as they go public with it, everyone hates them.
Yeah, I think that this is just the way the industry is going for the most part. I think that, you know, people see the writing on the wall. Multi-plat, for the most part, is the way to make money, man. I mean, the more platforms your game's available on, the more bread you can make, you know. PC, Xbox One, PlayStation, Nintendo Switch. The ideal situation, if you want to make the most money, is get them on all four. I mean, you can imagine, like, the deal's got to be pretty sweet to say, hey, we're going to just exclusively put our product on your platform, because you're missing out on potential revenue, like, all over the place. So I think it's good, man. I don't know if I was too hyped to get this game anyway. I don't even think I would pick it up, honestly, if I got a PlayStation or when I get one. Any other thoughts on this shit before?
I'll say that this is the kind of game that is absolutely meant and perfect for Game Pass.
Yeah, I mean,
yes,
perfect.
I will agree.
Mm-hmm. So let's move on. So I want to talk about Sea of Thieves, because there's some shit that's triggering me about some of the misinformation that's out there. I've seen it in my comment section. Sea of Thieves has been very popular in Summit 1G or whatever, 3G, 4G, 5G, whatever his name is. He was the first dude to start streaming Sea of Thieves, and his shit blew up. And then people like Ninja and Gathalion and all these other people were streaming it. It's blowing up. Then, you know, Sea of Thieves gets a price cut, and people are talking about it. And anyway, people are saying that, you know, Microsoft's out here paying these content creators on the DL to get them, you know, to stream their games. First of all, that's against, I believe, FCC regulations, if don't get me wrong. But there's some kind of a regulation where you have to divulge whoever your sponsors are. So first of all, that's illegal. They're not going to risk going to jail over getting some shit on the side. And second of all, why the fuck would Microsoft wait until some random ass time, almost a year after this game launches, to start paying people to stream their product? Why wouldn't they do it in the beginning, when people were saying the game was dead, it had no content, all this other stuff, getting like a 69 Metacritic? I mean, that would have been the time to try to get some positive publicity, not just some random ass time. But I digress. So anyway, Sea of Thieves news, they're going to disable crossplay with PC, which a lot of people are bitching about. I honestly didn't think it was a big issue beyond the cheating situation. I didn't really get like killed by PC players. I haven't really seen a cheater out there since I've been playing, and I've logged tons of hours in there. So what do you guys think about this whole situation with people talking about the Twitch streamers getting paid, first of all, and then the disabling of crossplay with the PC? Whoever wants to jump in, man.
No one's getting paid to stream this damn game. They put that fucking thing to rest. It's just, the thing to me is, it's real strange that a 69 Metacritic game is one of the most popular games a year later. You know, it's like, why don't they? That doesn't make sense to anybody. Am I right? Does that make sense to anybody that a 69 Metacritic game is one of the most popular games a year later? So maybe Metacritic should do like a re-review or something, or maybe like for games like these that last so long, like this is a multiplayer game. Maybe they should, after a year, give it another review, because that just looks bad upon the site itself when you've given this game such a low score. And 69 is that's a D. Okay,
that's a D. It's still passing, my dude.
It's a D.
Hey, here's the thing though. When did this become? When did Metacritic scores like become the go-to? Like before 69 and 70s were seen as still very good games. Like when did like anything that was below an 85 seen as just terrible? And Alpha's Army made a comment right here in the chat. He said, just remember, streamers are the reason for all the problems with gaming. Like that is literally a great point, because that's always the go-to. When an unpopular game suddenly gets played on streams, it's literally, oh, the streamers are getting paid to do it. It's all their fault that this game's getting all this attention. Oh, it's the reason this game's getting hated. All this little petty nonsense. Why is it always, if literally streamers start to do something, why is it always their fault? Streamers are meant to stream games that they want to do. They stream games that are either more interactive, that allows them to work with the community, or play a game that they have fun in. That is the point of streaming, is to have fun with what you want.
Yeah. So maybe I have a theory on this whole Sea of Thieves and streamers thing. It's pretty out there. It's pretty left field stuff. So stick with me, guys.
Get your tinfoil hat on.
I like it.
Go ahead.
Maybe, just maybe, these people like the game.
Oh man.
Oh my God, no. No.
That's too far out. That's too crazy.
That is the craziest thing, because you're talking about Sea of Trash here, right? The Sea of Dead that no one plays. You know, the game that was so hated that was never gonna last past the first month. Literally, everyone dropped off after the first week. What are you talking about? This is not a game that people are gonna support.
That's the craziest theory I've ever fucking heard, dude.
I'm just like, what the fuck? Maybe
nobody played Fortnite much either until they threw in the fucking free battle royale mode, and then it fucking took off.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
And even then, it took a while for the battle royale to blow up for Fortnite. Yep. So I mean,
PUBG was
PUBG was the king. Yeah. And I was like, PUBG was king of battle royale, and really kind of brought the attention to that. And then as soon as Fortnite did it, and they made it cartoony and their whole little thing and added the building, they're like, yo, this is great. And then it took off from there. Mm-hmm. And Alpha brings up another good reason, is that currently, it's a content drought. There weren't a lot of games that were fun to stream for a lot of people because there wasn't anything really good coming out for a bit. And the ones that did, everyone already finished. Look at, games like Detroit, or story-driven games. Like those kinds of games are always fun to stream and stuff like that. Like Life is Strange 2. There's months between those episodes. So there's not a lot to do besides interactive games, and you can only do some of those with your audiences for so long. So you needed do something else. People are playing Sea of Thieves and legitimately having fun because it's whatever the hell they want it to be. That is what Sea of Thieves was always meant to be. You and your crew go do what you want, have all the stupid fun you want, and you just enjoy it. Like hang on.
What I want to do?
What do you want to do?
I want to beat the damn ship in the sky cloud. Can I get a freaking crew together that can do that with me? Because these scallywags around here.
I did that last night. All right, I played Sea of Thieves for the first time in months last night and had fun with it, because after doing some of the new content, literally drove back to a outpost. As I was pulling up on the outpost with my roommates, literally a skeleton ship was just coming out of the water. We see everything kind of fog out, and we're just like, what's happening? We look over the side and we're watching the ship come out from underneath the water, and we're like, yo, this is crazy. And we literally were fighting around the outpost with this. After that, we got attacked by a megalodon and turned in everything from there. Then we decided to go check out the Forsaken Shores. The Forsaken Shores can go sit on it, right? Literally volcanoes on every island and nothing but geysers. That makes searching these islands It's ridiculous, but it was fun. Literally, we were doing skeleton captain or fighting captains, and then just using the geysers and walking them into the volcanoes and letting the environment kill them and trying not to die ourselves.
Hey,
let me just point something out that I put in the chat. You know what? If this game wasn't even on Xbox, or this was a Nintendo exclusive, we wouldn't even be having this conversation.
No.
Now, you know that, right?
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, and real quick, you're not supposed to have fun on this game, so just sit in the corner for a little bit. Anyway, let's talk about, just real quick, because this is Four Guys with Quarters. Shout out to them. They run a great podcast. I said that they had a topic that was interesting. I wanted to talk about it. It has to do with Sea of Thieves. They were saying they were getting some of them were getting upset about toxicity, right? And toxicity is driving the popularity of Sea of Thieves. Rare came out and said they have a no tolerance policy with toxicity because Summit is just trolling the shit out of people, right? But here's the deal, right? How do you behave in a toxic manner on a fucking pirate game? I mean, pirates are as toxic as they get, man. I mean, isn't that the point? You're supposed to rob and steal and do that's the definition, right?
What's toxic is like there's a difference from being a pirate to being a toxic jerk. Like if you're gonna be a pirate, you
all right.
attack
So
the
let's
ship.
have it. Let's have a debate.
Hang on.
Let's have a debate. Okay. All right.
All right.
Who wants to? Let's have Bloody versus Titan 2.0. I mean, do you guys have different opinions on this, or I could go?
I don't know. I think we're agreeing in it. Yeah.
Okay. So my point is, Bloody obviously has a different point. What I'm saying is, in Sea of Thieves, your focus is to be a pirate legend. You're behaving as a pirate. It's a game where you create your fun. You command a ship that is it's a simulation basically. You have to angle the sails, all this other shit, right? So you're acting as a pirate. If you go and you hide in someone's cabin and you stay there for 2 hours and then you steal their shit and blow up their ship, that's what a pirate would do. Then you drink.
I find that so funny.
Oh no, that's
drink.
absolutely
You
true.
would drink.
Here's the thing
They were calling some toxic. They were saying that's toxic. So what is he doing?
No.
That is toxic.
Here's what's toxic.
Okay.
Right. There's nothing wrong with sneaking on another person's ship, stealing their stuff, or sinking the boat. Right.
Mhm.
That's what you're supposed to do. You have a battle. What you don't do is you kill everyone on the boat, have all the other people steal the stuff, and literally just sit on the boat as they respawn and just keep killing them for hours on end.
No. Okay, so I will counter your argument and say if you're that dumb to not say, okay, we can respawn, we can scuttle the ship, we don't have to keep getting killed over and over.
Yes.
That's on
Scuttling
you.
the
That's
boat.
not on them.
No, scuttling the boat is a great aspect, but people fail to realize that everyone has to vote on it. That's a little bit.
That's on them. That's not on. That's not on Summit. That's not on Summit though.
Let me explain. I said yes. That is an issue with the community. Yes, some of them don't pay attention
Is it
to
toxic?
That.
What he's doing though?
However, no. What's toxic though is that with those same players who were literally sitting on that other team's boat, they go and actively follow and chase those people down to not let them have any fun. They literally will continue to chase them no matter how many times they respawn and scuttle the boat. Yes, when you scuttle the boat, it typically puts them within 2 islands of where you scuttle the boat and puts you on a beach. Yes, it does.
I played more Sea of Thieves than you, man. Check my hours. When I scuttle my ship, I don't ever see those
Somebody
dudes
pull up
again.
his police report.
So
don't care.
Just to let you know,
they were actively trolling you.
Let me tell you, what they're doing is what you're doing in the game. You kill people in that game. The target is to steal their shit. You make your own fun. You're being a pirate. If they're dumb enough to keep getting killed, that's on them. That's not Summit G's fault. He's not acting toxic. He's not saying racial slurs or saying other shit. That's toxic, man.
That's the toxic
That's
part.
toxic.
Yes.
He's acting within the realms of the game. He's having fun, and that's why people are watching his shit, because there's dumb enough people to let this shit happen to him. I mean, if you're stupid enough, And I mean, you got to be dumb to keep getting killed, and you get triggered over it. That's on you. I mean, you can scuttle the ship, and don't come at me and say, hey, I mean, 4 people got to vote on this shit. I mean, respawn, get a different game. I mean, it's not that hard. So what else is toxic about this? The shit that they're doing? Because I really want to know. I mean, that was the argument at Four Guys with Quarters. And I said, well, acting as a pirate, your main goal is to be toxic. You're stealing people's shit. You're blowing their ship up. Anything you could do that's fun as a pirate, getting drunk and throwing up on people, that's fun. I mean, some people would think that that's toxic. So that's my point there. Yeah. Any counterpoints before you get voted as the loser in this debate, Bloody?
Dang, let him know.
There's playing the game how you want. That's not toxic. You can play the game however you want. If you want to follow someone for hours on end until they beat a skeleton fort or whatever,
and steal their shit,
that's on you. That's fine. That's not toxicity. What toxicity? People are these invisible lines that hard for people to see? Like, really, man?
So it's the hand-holding generation. It's the participation awards and all this other shit.
Yeah, I mean, that's gotta go.
It's gotta go. It's a pirate game. We don't want to see a Fallout 76 situation where you can't fucking engage in PvP unless you invite the other person to do it. This game was built on this. I mean, get over it. I mean, cry me a river. Let's take a vote. Bloody, do you have anything to say before you lose this debate?
Before you take your L, sir.
Okay. Get your spoon up. You're about to eat them L's. Let's vote. 1 for Salty.
Hey, look.
2 for Bloody. Who won this debate? Let's go.
Hang on. Are they at least honey nut L's? Because I would gladly eat that.
I mean, it is what it is. Got that L for the night. The biggest L for the night goes to Bloody Knuckles. He's taking that L. Let's move on to the next.
76. 1.
76. So, let's talk about.
Can I at least get some milk?
Can I get some milk for those L's?
So, some milk.
You're damn right I do. I need to get that calcium. I need to make my bones nice and strong.
The thing is, if someone there's tools in place. Like, I've never used it, but when you're dead on the dead boat or whatever you want to call it, like, you can run up to that paper on the wall and it says, "Is someone?"
I've seen that.
Yeah,
I know they recently added that.
One thing that Victor Allison brought up in the chat, and I did find this really funny with the game Sea of Thieves, and he makes a good point, and I've always said this, is that it's amazing when you have a good group of friends to go play it with. But the game itself, if you're going in solo, it can be very intimidating. First of all, you don't really know what the fuck you're doing. You're just kind of pitched on an island and you get your boat. You know what I mean? Like, there should have been some sort of tutorial, especially coming from a company like Rare, who's been notorious for that sort of stuff with their prior games. I don't understand. I mean, you could skip it, sure, if you want to say skip tutorial, great. But it would have been really nice if they had it there for people, because a lot of people don't know a lot about sailing, probably don't know about the starboard and all that stuff and how to use the sails, and I think that in itself has been a turn off for a lot of people new to the series. If you don't have friends, you go in and you're really intimidated. You finally get your boat off the shore and the storms come in and you're getting shot at by ships, and you don't probably know, like, hey, you should have stocked up on cannonballs. How do you load it? How do you get in the cannon and shoot? There's a whole bunch of things, and unless somebody walks you through, it's tough. So I don't know why Rare didn't do that, and if I guess they could still go back and add it to the game, which I definitely think they should.
All right, so let's move on to the last topic. PS5 is going into a new direction. I guess this would be good for some people, not for another. Multiple reports are out there that the dev kits, for the most part, when you look at the industry as a whole, there's not a lot of dev kits out there being worked on for third-party titles. But when it comes to PlayStation, they're focused on PlayStation 5 already. The lineup for confirmed games for 2019 is sparse at best. Death Stranding, not going to be coming out. The Last of Us was rumored that the sequel is going to be coming out this year. That ain't happening. We got 2 titles. We got Dreams, which looks interesting, man. I've seen some crazy shit with that. And then what else? Days Gone.
You mean Project Spark 2.0?
Yeah, Project. It actually works though. So those are the two games. But yeah, PlayStation's focusing on PlayStation 5, man. That's just the way it is. These dev kits are with their first-party studios, according to rumors, and they're ramping up their efforts towards the next-gen system. The question I asked you guys is: this acceptable for their player base, especially the people that went out there and invested in the PlayStation brand, the PlayStation 4, to buy the Spider-Man console for during Black Friday, and then they're going to be getting pretty much jack shit for 2019, and then the company's focused on the next gen system. Let's talk about it. Who wants to jump in? Titan.
Well, last week the PlayStation was rumored at 8 teraflops. Now this week it's 10. It's like these numbers are going to change up and down over and over until it actually gets confirmed. Like, thing is, here's my thing. The Anaconda is going to be the most powerful console, but you're going to have to pay for it. It'll be more expensive than the PS5. I think there's a window for PlayStation to sell to gamers. I think they're going to be at that $400 sweet spot that gamers, accept as a price point. They're definitely going to be there. That's, I think. And the Xbox is going to undercut them, and they're going to overcut them. They're just going to surround them, basically, I think, with a weaker console that's cheaper and a more powerful console that's more expensive. What do you guys think about that?
Well, apparently to some people, that the Xbox Lockhart is cheap and weak. The Anaconda is powerful but expensive, and apparently PS5 is that golden middle, exactly where you want it to be. And it's going to have all these exclusives that have not been confirmed that everyone daydreams is going to happen. Like everyone was talking about. Apparently, Corey Barlog is working on another IP, and he was just like, "Wait, what? I am?" He even responded to that tweet on Twitter, and he's just like, "What new IP are y'all even talking about?" Like y'all are daydreaming. Let's be honest.
I mean, in regards to sorry, go ahead, buddy.
I was gonna say, no, there's no denying that there's definitely new stuff in the works for whatever they could do for the next generation, but until we know anything for a fact, and this goes for both sides, not just Sony fans, it also goes for Xbox fans, is that there's a lot of conflicting reports back and forth on what's going to be included in one, what's going to be included with the other. Everything's going to be back and forth, but either way, stop until something has been confirmed or said. Stop assuming all these things are going to happen like right out the get-go. Like, yes, there's definitely games in the work for next generation, especially for these next-gen consoles. But people are overboard and fantasizing with things that aren't even remotely close or even in the works at all right now. Literally, the only thing that we know that's coming more than likely for next generation is on the Xbox camp. Yeah, there will be games. That's all we know. But on the Xbox camp, more than likely, the only one that we can for sure think that's going to be next gen is more than likely going to be Halo Infinite, because Halo Infinite is still a little ways out. We know Gears 5 is coming out this year, but more than likely Halo Infinite will probably be either, if it does come out this gen, it'll be a bridge gap game, or it'll literally be a launch title. But as for PS5, we know nothing about what's going to be coming. It was recently announced that everyone thought Death Stranding is going to come out 2019. No, even Hideo Kojima himself has said no. It's still little ways out, and everyone's just like, no, it's absolutely coming out this year. Like, there's you gotta have limits on your imagination. Yeah. I'm just saying.
So going back to the whole dev kits talk for the PS5, I think getting into the console stuff, if you're somebody that bought the PS4, the base PS4, PS4 Pro within the next, you bought it last year, you bought it at holiday 2018 or whatever, especially PS4 Pro owners, and the same goes for Xbox One X owners. You kind of knew what you were buying, knowing that you were already most of the people, I can't speak for everybody, most of the people, I think, when they bought a Pro or the X, they knew exactly what they were buying, and they knew that next gen consoles, were on the horizon. It doesn't surprise me that dev kits are out for the PS5 if the console is going to launch next year. You got to get your developers prepped and ready. But I guess it might suck for for PlayStation owners to not have to not have the quote unquote bangers, and of course that's an assumption, right? The Last of Us could still come out in 2019. Whatever slated for 2019, a lot of the stuff could come out, but it's like
literally the only thing for 2019 right now is
Days Gone
and Dream.
Yeah.
Yes,
so if
that's all you have.
If that's all that PlayStation gamers are going to get for 2019, then it sucks, but there's nothing you can do about it. If developers have made up their minds to release all of these quote unquote bangers for next gen hardware, and some of them might be cross gen, then that's just what's going to happen. We're on the end tail of this generation, and that's just how these sort of things go. And the same thing's literally happening with Xbox. Your quote unquote bangers for this last year, and I think most people can agree with this, aside from maybe there might be a few, indie games like Tunic and stuff sprinkled in 2019. But your quote unquote bangers for 2019 is Gears 5, Ori and the Will of the Wisp, and Crackdown 3. That's it. As far as we know, and everything that's going to be slated for next gen, those are the bangers. You're going to get bangers for next gen that have been pushed back. It's just how these sort of things go.
All of these numbers for me personally, they really don't get me all that excited. And I'm going to tell you why. Because to me, these numbers legitimately mean fucking shit if you don't have the developers who know how to push the hardware. This is one thing I will give credit to Sony in full troop, is that usually their first-party studios constantly maximize and push the potential of the hardware that they have, which is God of War looks extremely good. You know what I mean? And they've always had, even games, you had like Ready at Dawn, you had the Order 1886, even though that might not have been, say, a Game of the Year candidate. It looked phenomenal. Very few studios have seemed to push any bit of Xbox. Certainly, there's very few games out there that have pushed the Xbox One X to its potential. Sure, we're getting resolution bumps. Sure, we're getting frame rate. But if that's all this next gen's about is resolution and frame rate, I don't really give a shit. I want to see somebody really take some risk, really push the graphic envelope in the way that Crytek pushed the original X. Like back in the day, 2013, they pushed Rise, and there's been very few games out there since that even come close to that pinnacle. And this is what I'm saying, it's up to the developers and how they use this thing. One thing I don't like seeing is how the devs seem to be at a crutch because they have to make sure that these games run on the inferior hardware. And I think that's going to be an issue constantly moving forward, is that if you're going to have this forward compatibility bullshit or whatever, like everything has to run on whatever, like it's posing huge issues, whether you want to admit it or not. So for me, numbers, to me, they're really cool. I get it, it's great, but honestly, like, at this point in time now, everything should be pretty much hitting the 4K 60 frames, the majority of it, because otherwise, what are we even paying for next gen? Like, somebody needs to come out and blow my eyelids off, and it hasn't happened in a long time. So that's all I'm going to say. So they can talk up the yin yang. Sony, look, they know what they're doing. This Sony's PS4 is selling good, whether they got games or they don't have games. It's flying out the store like gangbusters. Like, it's the hot system. It's the system that people want. It's the system that all the friends got, so they buy it. Blah 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 blah. I mean, it kicks Xbox X ass no matter how many games they seem to put out, because you know what, multiplats are what sells these damn things, and that's the truth. Sure, you get a little spike when the Spider-Man comes out or something, but you know what, at the end of the day, there's more people buying a PlayStation to play Fortnite on it probably than they are to play God of War, and that's the truth.
Yep. And you know what? You went into it a little bit. You know what I want to see is a game that pushes the next gen hardware at the beginning of the generation. If they have dev kits, then why can't they push their games to the limit at the start? Why are most games just decent at best at the start of every generation, and they really tear it up at the end, like Red Dead Redemption 2?
I think it comes down to time, honestly. Like, if they're getting dev kits now and they're just starting to work on their games, then at max, they're probably not even going to have more than 3 years to work on a game to launch for next gen. Whereas, obviously, the closer you get, the latter half of next gen, or any gen for that matter, they have more time with their stuff. And I think it just comes down to time.
Well, you know what? The few years before it, because everyone knows the general area when a next generation console is gonna release. If we know it, they know it. Okay, yeah. So if the developers know the general time frame, why don't they, this? They should have probably started this, I don't know, 8 months ago or something. Like, get into the the building blocks of your game, get your storyboard ready, get the story set, and then when the console and when the specs get released, start building to those specs. Start building to the maximum of those specs. You can always tone it down. Like I just don't understand that, man. That's one thing that really gets me with developers. Why do we pay $500 for these boxes and we really only get what they're truly meant for, like the last year or two of their life?
It's true, man. It should be interesting to see what happens with this, man. I don't expect much out of 2019 from PlayStation. I think we'll see that in MPD as well. I think you'll see the Switch on top for the most part because they have that momentum, and then Xbox will probably be second for the most part, and then PlayStation will kind of be down. They're kind of resting on their laurels, and they're just going to ride the momentum into PlayStation 5. But we're out of time, man. Sorry about that. We've actually gone overtime. This podcast was amazing. We had amazing turnout. I'm sorry about the buffering of the stream. I know what's wrong. I'll fix it. It's not. It's going to be perfect, man. And you got to work out some of these kinks if you want to have a badass looking show. I mean, look at that scroll, the message scroll on the bottom. You don't get that at other podcasts. Okay, maybe you do, but anyway, I digress. Let's get into the outros. And I know Nick's got to get up early. Sub to his channel, man. Dude's putting in work. He had an awesome stream today. Nintendo Direct, where can people find you, man?
Find me here on YouTube, youtube.com/Nintendo Direct, Twitch, Twitter, the same thing.
Yep.
Go ahead and give me a follow on Twitter as well so you can keep up to date whenever I put out videos. Also, join Salty's Discord because I also post in there as well. And let's just join Salty's Discord or whatever. Join the community. I put out a video if y'all don't mind checking it out. It was an indie review for a game, but it ended up being something really different than just an indie review or indie review. So check that video out. It talks about a good topic that I think everybody needs to discuss. So
talks about depression,
pretty much. But so appreciate y'all. Appreciate everybody in the chat. Podcast was great as always, and see you guys next week.
Holla at your boy. All right, our guest Hyena Den. Where can people find you, man?
They can find me at Hyena Den Xbox Live at Twitter, and Hyena Den on YouTube as well. I'm trying to crank out a video regarding Metro Exodus and Ashen, the good, the bad, the ugly with the entire situation. So that should be coming out in a few days. It was fun to be on TSGP as always.
Amazing, dude. Boom, 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 kaboom. Noof. You brought it today, just like usual. Where can people find you? You got a new show on Tuesdays, right? Correct?
But before I go, I had to bring out the armor. There were people in the chat that wanted to hear me. Here I am. I can't stay long, so come back next week. Check out this awesome podcast. Subscribe to all the panel members, and remember to keep it fresh. That's how we do it.
Yeah.
Go.
I was hoping for Mikey Barra, but whatever.
That'd be a noof. That'd be crazy if you like ran down your personas or whatever. Like, hey, let's do your outro. You're like Mikey Barra, Terminator. You know what I'm saying? Anyway,
then Cletus just do them all in one take.
Hey guys, I just wanted to let you know to subscribe to Salty's Gaming Podcast, okay? And Salty's channel. The guy is amazing. He knows his Xbox shit. Okay, a lot better than our marketing department, so get there. Okay.
That was my favorite.
Man. Yes, but anyway, guys, you know where to find me. Always in the gutter. That is Noof Nukem on Xbox, Noof Nukem 76 on PlayStation. I don't even know what the hell my Nintendo code is, but I do have a Switch. Come find me there too if you like. You can always check it out. I think I have it on my Twitter page. But anyway, yes, and thanks, Salty, for bringing that up. I do have a new podcast starting in next Tuesday night, right after RDX wraps up. I'm going to be teaming up with my partner in crime. She is the female Noof Nukem, Primal Eve. We have got Gaming After Dark. Thought it was a really cool title. We're going to be having guests. We're going to keep it light. We're going to keep it fluffy. We're going to keep it funny. It's going to be raunchy, so don't let your kids listen in. You know how Noof likes to roll. Right. It's going to be, but it should be a good show. Hopefully, we'll get some good turnouts, and we'll see where it goes from there. But it's going to be a keeper, and Primal's excited, and she sends her love, and the snail trail will be rolling on through.
Amazing. Next up, we got Bloody Knuckles. Where can people find you?
And they can find me on Twitter, YouTube, on Facebook, Instagram, and of course on Mixer.com, all at Bloody Knuckles. Remember, the O's is 0, the E's are 3, and it all ends in a Z. Of course, they can find me here every Thursday with you, salty sons of bitches. Right. They can also find me on Fridays with K Mega and that crew over there on the GRG. They can also find me on my channel every Saturday on the Smash Podcast, your little corner for nerdy news and all things geeky goodness. And of course, make sure that they want to check out TickGamesNetwork.com as well as the Tick Game Network YouTube channel, because I am an official partner with those guys, working and co-hosting the Otaku Fix.
Amazing. That's a lot of stuff, man. Good shit.
Busy, man. Busy.
Last but not least, the best voice, the Discovery Channel future host of whatever the shit you're gonna do there.
That
Titan
that failed
Drago.
so quickly.
It's always hilarious when Mike Ybarra cusses, I think. But you can find me and everything at Titan Drago, everybody. Obi Dren, thanks for all the kind words and the super chat. Salty, appreciate it.
Yeah.
So do I.
Why were you trying to do a deep voice and then
I know, it's like
let go?
I'm just giving you the range of my voice, okay? I can go high, I can go low. Okay?
It's like, hey,
His balls a little in between.
did you guys see? You saw the Avengers, right? When Star-Lord's trying to like mimic the voice of what's his name, Thor. He's like, "What do you mean? What do you mean? I'm changing my voice?
Are you trying to mock me?
You trying to mock me?"
I don't know
Anyway,
what you guys are talking about, but Obi Dren, you're awesome. This
Yep.
chat, always a great time. Thank you all for showing up.
Yes,
Let's
sir.
spread the word. Let's try and realize the invisible lines that are there, everybody, and let's not cross them. And until next time, let's bring the common
yeah.
back to sense.
That's the perfect way to end. Thanks for hanging out again. Sorry for the buffering shit. I hate it, man. I couldn't do anything. It was like I got my hands tied behind my back. I'm trying to bring the best content possible to you guys because you guys deserve it, man. You come out here and support us. We wouldn't be anything without you. Just want you to remember that. We're thankful for you. We're grateful for every one of you guys. Just hit 3,000 subscribers. Amazing milestone, but we're just getting started, baby. And also, got a giveaway for kind of just a giving back to the community for Anthem, PS4 and Xbox, your choice. That's going to be ending the day before the launch of the game. So Saltiest Gaming Podcast, you enter that. It's a Gleam giveaway. The link is in the description. If you show up during the podcast and your name's called and you say, "Hey, I'm here," you get the game. So hopefully one of you guys, one of you good fellows that and ladies out there in the chat win and enjoy that game. That would be awesome. So anyway, that's going to do it. For tonight's episode. Until next week, for sure, we'll be counting the days until we can talk games again. Hope you guys have a great weekend. As always, stay salty, my friends.